I'm not bisexual. I'm not a lesbian. But I think I should marry Yeb.
I came out of my office, I walked into the kitchen, and she just hands me a cider. And I was like, all right, and then I walked back in. Am I the asshole for wanting to report my coworker for talking to my grandma?
There's evidence of it.
Hello there.
I work at a high-end country club doing front desk work and housekeeping. My grandma has been a member there since I was a baby. I love my grandma so much, but there's a lot I don't tell her because she's a very anxious woman and she tends to overstress about things that aren't a huge deal. Well, she's just like me, for real, for real. I have lupus, so does she, and I've chosen not to tell her because I know she'd panic and worry about me too much, and realistically, I have a very mild case of it at this point. The other day, while I was out in the cold, I mentioned to my coworker that because of my lupus, being in the cold for a long time makes my muscles hurt really bad, and it felt like shooting pains. Today, I was off, and my grandma was there, and my coworker saw her and came up to her, immediately telling her she's so sorry. I have lupus and she's so worried about me because I have a dangerous shooting pain in my arm and chest. I never told her that I had chest pain and that she thinks I should go to the hospital. This spiraled my grandma into a huge panic attack and she called my whole family asking if it's true, and most people didn't know, but now they do. It's not a huge deal at all. It just bugs me that my coworker did that and I want to report her to my management. I feel like she has no right to decide what's important enough to tell me and tell my family. When I told my grandma, she got really upset and she said it's not her fault, that she was just concerned. Would I be the asshole for filing a report against her? This one's a little bit layered. So is the coworker in the wrong? 100%. Anything to do with like medical stuff, I don't think that's on you to tell any of her family, even if you didn't realize that you were. I don't think that you should be having conversations with your grandmother about that at all. And if you were a proper human, you would communicate to her saying, hey, I'm really worried about you. Maybe you should go to the hospital. You didn't. You decided to go around her to tell somebody else because I think that you wanted a little bit of sympathy for yourself, being like, I'm so concerned for her. Oh my God, maybe she go to the hospital. I'm such a good friend. Like the whole Mean Girl shtick. I'm just such I never told anyone before this because I'm such a good friend, you know? But that being said, she was in the wrong. As far as I can tell, you did not tell her, one, that it was a secret that her grandmother didn't know, or two, not to say anything to anybody. I feel like it should be common knowledge not to, but I don't think at the end of the day that she should be reported to management. I think you need to sit her down, you need to talk to her ass, being like, that was inappropriate, I didn't like that, you shouldn't have done that. And both of you should work on communication skills, which I feel like 99% of the people on this subreddit are lacking. Well, they are on Reddit. Yeah, true. This is a personal issue. Yeah, so at the end of the day, would you be an asshole for reporting her? I think you would be. I think that's taking it too far. I think you're taking something that's a personal issue outside of work and you're making it a work issue that can affect her career. It doesn't seem like it was out of malice and she brought it up her illness at work anyway, not the asshole. I don't think it didn't seem like it was out of malice. I don't think she was going to her grandma and be like, oh my God, did you know that she has lupus and she did not tell you? I don't think that's that at all. It's more like it's an HR violation at the worst. Yeah, I don't think that professionally you should be interacting. Technically her grandmother, even though she's family, she is a client and she is a customer and you are working, so you shouldn't be doing that. Even though I don't think the coworker should have done that, it was a weird thing to do. I think you should communicate with her, and if you did report her, I think that you would be the asshole. I don't think that it needs to go that far. I don't think you need to report her to management because she did something you didn't like. I think that you should talk to her about it like a normal human. How old are you? Did it say how old she was? She must be like early 20s or something. Like, this is just stupid. Am I the asshole for accidentally destroying somebody's book? Last week, I borrowed one of my friend's books. We're not that close, but we both share a love of reading. Anyways, I was reading said book whilst in the bath last week, and it led me to accidentally dropping it into the tub. The pages are ruined and the book has expanded quite a bit, but in my opinion, it's still readable. The pages are ruined. I think it's still readable. That sentence is confusing. Of course, though, I still felt very guilty and I offered to replace it. Okay. She refused and said that I shouldn't worry about it. Accidents happen after all. But now I found out that she's going behind my back and telling all of our mutual friends about it. Okay, hold on. Swerve. She isn't saying it directly, but she's heavily implying that I didn't try to do anything about it. Okay, I'm starting to switch sides up here a little bit. I'm pretty sure I'm not the asshole, but some of her other friends say I should just be the bigger person and replace her book. However, I'm feeling quite hurt by her words and am now very reluctant to purchase something for her. So what should I do about it? Should I just ignore it and go ahead and buy her another book? Okay, let's not read the edits first. I'm confused that so many people are thinking that this person is an asshole. Should you be reading in the tub? Probably not. It's somebody else's property and you are borrowing it. you do need to be a little bit more safe. I hate borrowing anything from anyone because I'm so scared of hurting it or breaking it or doing whatever to it. But it doesn't sound like it was a sentimental book. It was just a book that you can go and get from Barnes & Noble and just replace it. So I feel like I can understand why she's like, I'm just going to read in the tub. If something happens, I will just go get another book. Are you guys borrowing? Are you guys borrowing shaming me right now? How do you say borrow? How do you say borrow? How the do you guys say it? Americans? So America, but it was a borrow book. Like, what the do you say? Borrow? Can I borrow your book? What? Can I borrow your book? Anyways, if you're going to borrow something from someone, you should be a little bit more reluctant to like bring it in the tub with you. But if it's just like a paperback $10 book, who gives a shit, right? So I kind of understand. Okay, at that point, I'm like, okay, not the asshole. Here's the hot take that if I were just to read this verbatim and believe everything that OP is saying, she offered to replace it. She said no, and now she's going around telling people that she didn't even try to replace it, and she's being a piece of shit. Yeah, that bitch. She's being stupid. You're not being an asshole. That was on them. You broke something, you hurt something, and you felt bad about it. You're like, I'm so sorry, let me replace it. If they're not going around talking shit about you for it and being like, I can't believe she didn't do anything about it. It's like, I offered, and like, what else am I supposed to do? But me being, knowing that, we have a lot of untrusting narrators on this site, because she said the pages are ruined and the book has expanded quite a bit, but it's still readable. And the fact that she's like, well, I offered to replace it. I wonder how sincere the offer was. If she was like, oh, like, do I need to get you a new one? I can, like, if I need to. And then she's like, no. She's like, okay. I feel like maybe she's saying that she felt very guilty, and she's like, I offered to replace it. But if it's exactly like I'm being told, which is the only thing I can go from, except for, investigating how she's wording everything and assuming her character based on how she's written this, which I've also been doing, I would say she's not being an asshole. So let's see what the edits. I've replied to a couple comments, but I think it's better if I just add everything here so everyone can have all the information. Firstly, I offered to replace the book like 5 or 6 times, but each time my friend told me not to worry and that it would just be a waste of money if I did decide to replace it. After all, I've already read it, she said to me multiple times. Also, regarding the bath controversy, I often read books in the bath to relax a bit in the evening. My friend knows this and often does it herself. I also mentioned that those were probably my plans, i.e. I said something like, I can't wait to read this book in the bath later, and she didn't show any expression of discomfort or whatever. In fact, she slightly encouraged me by saying something like, I'm so jealous, I've got work later, so I don't have any time to relax. Edit 2. Many people are wondering if the book was extra special in some way, excluding the fact that it's a book she bought for herself, and are also wondering what book actually it was. But no, it wasn't a special edition, nor was it sentimental. The book I got wet was Open Water by Caleb Nielsen, a book urban fiction romance book which deals with several important issues. I would recommend it. This may also come across as defensive, but I truly don't believe the issue lies with me reading the book in the bathtub. My friend has also read the books. I've lent her in bath many times, and though it may seem like I'm careless with other people's books, this is the first time I've ever even slightly damaged one of her books. I truly did feel bad and insisted on replacing it multiple times, but each time she refused, so I just accepted it and moved on. This is really a book ad. It really is. I don't think that she's the asshole. I think a lot of people think that they're the asshole, and I'm like, I don't think it is. I feel like everybody's gravitating towards well, you read it in the bath, and I think that that's not an issue. What she could have done is replace it right away. I'll be honest. So the other day, I broke something of Yeb's. I went to get a plate out of her cabinet. There's a bunch of paper plates stacked on top of each other. And I went to grab one of the paper plates and I pulled it out, and there was a small cow print plate on top of it, which I didn't know. So when I pulled out one of the paper plates, that plate came down flying at me and smashed. And I felt so bad, and I took a picture of it and I messaged her immediately being like, oh my God, I am so sorry. Did not mean to, I'm so sorry. I felt so bad. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, like I thrifted it. Like, oh, like it's not like a normal plate. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I immediately went to eBay and I found the exact same plate and I ordered it, and I sent her the order number and said, hey, a new one's on the way. I literally had to find this plate because I had to figure out what the name of the plate was and then find it on eBay and then buy her a new one, because I was like, that's what you do, right? Because you feel bad. So I feel like she should have just bought the new book and just done that, because if you actually feel that bad, I felt so bad. I do not like breaking things. I'm getting emotional because I feel so bad. Good friend. That's how it should be, to be honest. I felt so bad and she seemed so sad. I was like, I'm so sorry. I just kept apologizing. I'm like, I'm so sorry. It was such an accident. And I think that's what OP should have done. But because she didn't, I don't think that makes her an asshole. I just think that maybe it's just different ways of thinking. Not everybody thinks that way. I'm definitely like a gift giver, and I'm definitely a very gift-oriented replacing type of person. I agree. She should have replaced it to regardless, but it's weird to then go talk shit to other friends about it. I agree. The fact that she then went, and I can't believe shit, she didn't replace it. It's like, bro, she asked you so many times. I would just buy her the book now and not talk to her anymore. Yeah, I would buy her the new book and be like, here's your book, and not talk to her because she's clearly not the greatest of friends. I feel like this is not the popular opinion because Reddit is against us, but I don't think that OP is the asshole. I think that they are too focused on her reading a book in the tub, but it seems like between her and her friend that was totally fine, and that she's also borrowed books from her. Learning experience. Closed mouth doesn't get fed. If offered and turned down, that's on you. I totally agree. Am I the asshole for keeping a Pokemon card my son got in a trade?
Who's that Pokémon? It's Pikachu! It's the fairy!
This is making me feel a bit guilty. My son, 9-year-old male. I was gonna say 9 months old. 9-year-old male got into Pokemon cards recently and purchased some online. He put them in a folder and brought them to school to trade with other kids. He came home telling me of a trade he did and was excited about the stats, etc. He had no idea that cards could be worth money, basically. However, after his trading this week, he started researching cards and found out that one card was on a trade worth $3,500. That's probably graded and like, you're stupid. That's not actually worth that. Jesus Christ. My question is, would I be the asshole if I kept it without notifying the parents of the other child? We have set it to the sides for safety for now. Wait a second. That's different. For context, we're not well off, but due to the kind grandparents, he goes to a very expensive private school. The kids being picked up at McLaren sort of thing. So I'm not sure if that changes the outcome in my opinion, but thought it might be relevant. I thought you were going to say you're going to steal the card from your son and not tell him. And I'm like, okay, definitely the asshole. You can't do that. But if you're saying it's our card and should I be informing the other family? No. He did a trade. Bye-bye. Gift kid. Bye-bye. Traded fair and square. Bye-bye. It's mine now, honey. It's like finding a really good deal on eBay. Be like, they don't know. They don't know. And then you did that. Now it's mine. Yoink. Finders keepers. Well, not really finders keepers. Trade's a trade. Losers weepers. Not your fault the kid is stupid. Yeah. And I also highly doubt that the card is actually worth $3,500. I think that maybe a PSA 10 of that exact card maybe would go for something like that, but there's no way. The kids have definitely played with it. It's probably not worth anything. But let's see what the comments are. I'm really curious what the card is. Not the asshole. Trade is a trade. And honestly, the card is probably not worth as much as you think because of the condition of it being out of the pack and traded. It could also be fake. My husband had a rare shiny Charizard card that was out of pack and traded. It's worth $250,000. Problem is he kept it safe in a Bible and his mom threw it away in the Bible. I'm telling you right now, it would not be pack traded perfect. I'm telling you right now, years and years of unprotected card, it's not going to be worth $250,000. It's only worth that if it's graded. So it could be pack fresh. Right out the pack. It's not a PSA 10. I don't know why people don't understand this. You can get a pack fresh card, pull it right out, and it'd be a PSA 5. Like, you have no idea. It's not worth $250,000. You're so wrong. Am I the asshole for serving unrefrigerated eggs and homemade cheese? What do you mean by homemade? My husband and I have a small urban homestead. We raise a flock of chickens and several goats. So naturally, we eat a lot of eggs and goat milk. I make cheese from the goat's milk as well. I hosted breakfast for my family and my brother-in-law informed me his sister was coming. She's lovely. This sister is going through chemo. I have Crohn's and totally get being immune compromised. So I was careful to have my kitchen super clean when I was cooking. I made sure there was no allergies. Again, I have Crohn's, so I get food sensitivities. I made a goat's milk cheese quiche, bacon, biscuits, and a few other things. Fast forward to the day. Everything goes great. 8-year-old daughter pipes up that she helped make the cheese. Brother-in-law sister said, surely you didn't make the cheese. I assured her I helped. It's totally safe. She begins panicking and says she can't have any unpasteurized milk. I told her the type of cheese I made is totally cooked and the milk is effectively pasteurized, especially with it being baked. I had specifically bought cow's milk from the store to serve with breakfast because it was pasteurized, but figured my cheese was safe. Brother-in-law says it was totally inappropriate and that I'm a jerk for not knowing she needed everything pasteurized. I said everything comes from our goats and our chickens and that cooking it thoroughly will kill off any pathogens. Brother-in-law sisters then gets upset when she realizes the eggs weren't from the store. Apparently all homegrown eggs have salmonella, she says. Again, nothing raw was on the table except for the fruit. I apologize for not realizing she was uncomfortable with the home-raised dairy and eggs and got called several curse words to my face. Everything was eaten at this point. Brother-in-law and his sister were angry and they left. Like, maybe I don't understand cancer protocol, but I genuinely had no clue I needed to be this stringent. Am I the asshole? If they need you to do something so specific when they know that you live on a small homestead and you have your own goats and chickens and that you use your own milk from your goats and your own eggs from your chickens, then they should have been 100% upfront with you. That's completely on them. If you have something that you need to be addressed, if you are eating at somebody else's home, you need to make them very, very, very clear of that. And if you didn't, then that's on you. You come in, you have a peanut allergy, nobody knows, and they serve you a peanut butter sandwich. That's on you. That's on you. You're the adult. You can tell them what you can and cannot eat. And if you need to be very strict about something, then that's on you. I feel like at the end of the day, maybe the sister was very honest with the brother-in-law, and the brother-in-law did not take the time to then tell them. So he's like, oh yeah, I can't believe that they would do that. That's crazy. It's almost like he's just passing blame, because at the end of the day, why the are they getting so mad? They're cursing to her face. And the fact that they're like, every homestead egg is actually filled with salmonella is also crazy. I'm allergic to pineapples, so family and friends know, and they know to let everyone else know. Yeah, if you have an allergy, it's on you, because somebody can forget, because it's not their health. Even if your family knows that, hey, I can't have pineapple, if you show up, I would still be like, just to make sure this doesn't have pineapple in it, right? I wouldn't just willy-nilly just eat. Just like, if you have an allergy or something that's so severe that it can cause you harm or death, I would be on top of that. Be like, every time, if you are eating food that is not your own, that you did not cook yourself, you did not order yourself, I would be constantly checking. And if you didn't check and there was, at the end of the day, that's on you. That's on you. That is your allergy. That is the cross that you bear. That is not on the people that are serving you and welcoming you into their home and serving you food. Subbing to the YouTube is free, and it does a lot for me, so please do. Yeah, okay, bye.